Hello everybody, Realm Builder Guy here, and welcome back to the channel, and welcome back to Imperator Rome and mighty Sparta. Last episode, a lot happened. We finally achieved the, let's call it the Laconian reunification that we have so many, longed for so many years. Yeah, I can speak. Hey, I'm okay. I feel better today than just the other day. But anyway, we've got a lot to deal with and a lot to kind of in general talk about the direction of what Sparta is going to be doing moving forward, and also the kind of the direction of this save series. But first, we've got another fantastic contribution from one of you amazing viewers. From Gerard Kraba, he says, "A proxy war to lure members of the defensive league away while you crush the Messenians, a clever ploy, my Vasilevs. On this day, the son did what the father never could and took back Messenia, which should have always been ours. Sadly, that good news is dwarfed by our looming threats, greatest of which is Rome. They have already taken land that was ours by right of conquest. Will nothing sate those warmongers? Ugh. I fear for when they set their eyes on us again. I do not think our ploy before will work again on the idiots of the defensive league, but we do need to move quick to take the Peloponnese so we can have a unified Spartan Greece to face Roman aggression. Who knows, my Vasilevs? Maybe you will be the next Leonidas, except instead of a Persian threat, will be against the Roman threat. Our allies of Canosas," the general spits on the ground in disgust, "needs to be broken and either incorporated into Sparta or destroyed and have their lands and rights taken by force. Time and time again, they have defied our calls to war. They think they are equals. Maybe we should show them how wrong they truly are. For they are nothing but upstarts, like Rome, but unlike Rome, they do not have the strength to back it up." Said by the son of a Roman general looking to take his father's place as general to the new Vasilevs of Sparta. All right, so yeah, that's all very true. There's a lot going on and a lot here to consider, specifically where Rome is considered, where Rome is concerned. That's the word I'm looking for. But thank you again for that awesome contribution. If you have a storyline to add here to the series, please drop that down in the comments. And in general, what your thoughts are in the direction we should go. There is one interesting thing here in the world, and flipping around, we've got the province of Iris Inferior, but we have the Mithridatic Kingdom has emerged, which is really kind of cool. Yeah, I mean, this is one that existed in real life in this region and actually led to a massive war, which the Bosporan Kingdom was then somehow involved with, but the Mithridatic War. Very interesting one. You may want to look that up. So we are currently involved in a war against Odrysia again with Thrace. I think, yeah, this is the 5th Odrysian Thracian War. They just can't let it go. Could send some soldiers up there, but honestly, we are trying to save some money and make some money. Let me unpause the game here. As everything kind of ticks over, we look at our finances. We will be making a profit starting here the 1st of January, 507. So that's very, very nice. Let's see, Rome wants wine. We will accept that offer. And that will change our balance a little bit. So we're making 272 right now. That'll go to 247. And trying to kind of rebuild our economy after a good amount of war. We've got a decent amount, well, not decent, I mean 0.59. That's not a lot of war exhaustion. Never mind, but we are rebuilding our stability. The question is, of course, what direction do we want to go? We have Crete that we're still trying to deal with in terms of Canosas. See what different things we could do here. We could sell territory to them. We can't do much else here. We could start integration. Vassal needs to have at least 190 opinion of us. So what we will do here is we will send a gift to start off with. And now we have to wait until the 20th of March, 507, for this to take effect before we can start the integration process, but we will start the integration process, no doubt. We've got a decent amount of loyalty coming our way. The aggressive expansion has a little bit of a negative effect, but you know, the fact that there's a plus 48 when it comes to the opinion, that's pretty huge. All right, so we can start the integration. Do you wish to fully integrate the Hellenistic local power of Canosas? It will no longer be another nation on the map, but instead ruled directly by our local governors. We'll keep the population in check. It will take until 1 May 513 to fully integrate the Hellenistic local power of Canosas. 6 years, I think that's worth it. So we will start that process. It's going to take a while, but then Canosas is off the map, and that will all then be part of Sparta, giving us, of course, a greater increase in manpower. So Idrissa has sued for peace. A white peace there. Once again, I wonder when the 6th war between Thrace and them will come to be. So now let's look around here. Rome, in general, is a massive problem. I mean, they are blobbing, and they are coming for Greece big time. One thing that's interesting, they're not moving towards Gaul just yet. I've done a Massalia playthrough once just for fun, and they came hard for that region pretty fast, but not really doing it this time. They are definitely heading towards Greece. In general, our situation here isn't fantastic. We could try to conquer Athens, and then, of course, we've got Boeotia and Thebes to deal with. We've got the internal powers to conquer the Peloponnese, and we do have this defensive league to contend with. It might be worth going after them now that we have our, you know, Macedonia is not in a war, Boeotia is not in a war. I mean, really none of our allies are in a war, so that could really help. All right, red-handed. Several nights ago, Charis Aegeid was discovered helping himself to a sizable quantity of gold from the national treasury. This is clearly a serious crime. However, there is something to be said for sweeping affairs like this under the carpet. So what is he? He is Mentagra, whatever that means. He's a benefactor, sarcastic, assertive, and self-controlled. Have him flogged. So we lose money. We lose money no matter what. Okay. So if we have him flogged, popularity goes up, and he loses 20 health, so that's just going to have to happen. Which I'm okay with. You got to punish someone that steals from the treasury. But I'm not going to go into a war just yet because I really want to rebuild our economy a little bit because we've been in quite a few wars recently and kind of see which way this goes. All right, so we've got some wars going on here. Macedon looks like is in a war. Let's take a look here. What war do we have going on here? Macedon is at a war with, it looks like, everybody on the Peloponnese. So the question here is, if we give them military access, they don't really need it. Well, yeah, I guess they do if they want to go across here to take on Macedon. We're going to go with no. I'm not going to grant any military access. Let's kind of keep an eye on this, because it may not be bad for us to look at starting to expand here. Let's take a look here real quick at the neighbors. Who are the most dangerous? So we've got Megalopolis. I'm going to turn the speed down and just unpause. Megalopolis has 24 pops. They've got 7 military tech. And Argos, 33 pops. They could be the stronger one here to deal with. Nope. Then we've got the guys here in Tegea. 10 pops. They're not overly strong. What I'm doing here is looking who to fabricate a claim on. Haraya, Megalopolis looking pretty similar there. Mantinea is pretty small. Stymphalia is pretty small. Azania is pretty small. So really, it would be between Haraya and Argos. I almost want to say Argos is the best one to go after. They also have a port here. Megalopolis, they've got some pretty stout walls. Here they have a fortress level 3, or 3 fortresses, so that would mean we would need 6,000 troops to take them. Megalopolis would need 4,000. Them only need 3,000. They would be the easier one to conquer. So let's actually go down here, covert, and let's fabricate a claim on the province of Laconia. So all of Haraya. Yeah, I know you want military access. I'm not going to grant you that because I wouldn't mind Macedon putting the hurt on you pretty substantially. Actually, what we can do here is I could disband all of our levies, because we still had some there. And these guys we will send back home to Sparta for right now and just kind of leave them there. Save a little bit of money. Also, when it comes to our spending, yeah, it's dropped now that we disbanded those levies. And kind of see what Macedon does here on the Peloponnese. If they significantly weaken the defensive league, maybe even knock out 2 of them, you know, that would be very, very beneficial to us. It's interesting that Macedon did not call us into the war. Unless, of course, we're still allies with Macedon and Thrace. And also, Argos hasn't called us into the war. Maybe it's because we're allied for both, and with both sides, so they know we wouldn't come in. That's probably what it is. But it'll be interesting to keep an eye on this, to really see which way this war goes. If they can knock out a few here on the Peloponnese, that we can just come in and gobble up the rest of the defensive league. In the meantime, as we're just buying our time and just rebuilding a little bit, that I'd be okay with that. You know, I mean, if it goes so far that, you know, we fully integrate Canosas and all of Crete under Spartan rule, by that time the defensive league has been broken into, you know, instead of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 members, maybe just 3. I think those are odds that would play in our favor, and then we could maybe even call in some of our allies like Macedon, Boeotia, and so on. Of course, when Canosas is fully integrated, we can't forget, then that will free up another diplomatic slot that we can keep an eye on. In the meantime, here, Rome, the Roman opinion of us is improving. I think what we need to go in here is, in general, just improve the opinion with Rome. It's worth the 25 gold. Because I would like to be allied with Rome. If nothing else, just to neutralize them away from us. We already lost, they already came after us. We lost some territory here in northern Greece. A new ruler is born, a daughter, Libis. Yes, Libis is a good name. To them, when the timing wasn't great, obviously, in the last episode, but if I could ally with them, and we'd have Thrace, Macedon, and Rome on our side, that would be very beneficial, because then we could start mopping up in here, and then ideally, if Rome becomes our major ally, we can take on Macedon for supremacy down here and get closer and closer with Rome. As far as major Mediterranean power, I don't know if we'll ever get there, because Rome is such a massive threat. The only other thing we can kind of look at is keep an eye on Egypt, Carthage, and how the Seleucids do. Seleucid Empire is still extremely large and powerful. But I've got my eye on these guys down here as well, where our former ally in Lycia has created a formidable defensive league, and they are also quite powerful, and we just need to keep an eye on them. Dynastic desperation has reached our ears that Thearidas Aegeid, a child and heir of Vasilevs Philopoemenos, has started to develop a jealous, hateful view of his half-brother Aratos Aegeid. The rivalry seems to stem from Thearidas' worries that children from the more recent marriage will be favored, removing his chances to inherit. Evidence has arisen that, encouraged by close friends and relatives, Thearidas may even be planning to remove Aratos from the picture permanently. We could manipulate this opportunity to our advantage. Let's see. He's got some, let's see, Aratos is 13. He's very loyal. He's got no corruption. Pretty good martial ability and zeal. Thearitas is 28. He's got corruption. Good finesse. Carefully move Thearidas away from his path. I think we will try that approach right now. So, seeing what's going on here next door, Macedon has conquered a few territories, but not a ton. Now, I'm just waiting for the point where our claim on Herenia is done, and then we can look at possibly declaring a war. The first step will, of course, be to see which, if any, of our allies would come in. If that's the case, I would raise my levies first and then proceed. So we now have a claim on Herenia. You can see there's a large Macedonian army there. Let's just see. If we declare a war here, everyone will come in. Thrace, Macedon, Boeotia, and it will help us to take Laconia. Let's see, do we currently have a truce with them? That's the big thing. Let's see, we've got subjects, got truce, yeah, with all of them until 513. So we've got a few years right now. Let's see, are they part of it? Syria, Bovanium, Brutia, Pellegrina, Odrissa, Miletos, I don't see it as being declaring when having military access. Declaring war is sometimes the last resort. Reduce the view. So they don't have a truce with us. I wonder if it's the defensive league that's the issue. Because remember, we broke a truce once before. Senia. I wish I could see this a little differently. I mean, yeah, there it is. Yeah, we do have a truce with Herenia. So 513. If we click on Herenia, do we have military access? So we're going to cancel military access with them. So that's the first thing. And now we do just need to wait until 513. So because otherwise that would break the truce and kill our stability. So either way, we just have to play a little bit of a waiting game and rebuild our economy. But we at least have that claim. We can start actually building claims in general here across the Peloponnese. So I think we will now fabricate a claim here against for the province of Arcadia against Megalopolis. Charis Aegeid has died. Oh. He's died at war. The Dacian power of Odrissa has declared war upon Thrace. Okay, so we will, of course, go to war there. Titles unassigned. Got quite a few now. All right, we don't have any scorned families. So we can actually put people in that know what they're doing and not have to care. Yeah, I think we'll just go with that. So, yeah, we don't have to play family politics. We can actually put people in positions of power that know what they're doing. The Lycian Civil War has ended. Okay, that's just something interesting of note here on our border here. We have Oratory Advance. Country civilization level has gone up another 0.5%. So I will take a look at Invention and see what we're going to do next. All right, we're going to go with Overseers as the next in the civic advances. What this will do is a Vilicus in Rome was an often well-treated slave who was elevated over his or her brethren. This practice often resulted in easier communication with the slave population of any given enterprise. What this will do with Overseers, our national slave output goes up by 3%, which of course then also bumps up our tax income with time. Okay, we've got our fort maintenance is still at that level. Asking for military access, no. Balance of our economy is down. We drop our fort maintenance. Doesn't make a huge difference, but it looks like we're heading in the right direction. All right, Carthage wants olives from Crete. We'll accept that offer. You can see we're now at a pretty decent economic point, but I feel like we can still make more money if we needed to. I can drop wages. That'll increase our monthly corruption, but we will save money that way, but I don't really want to do it. We can increase our taxes. That'll drop our research points, but national slave output goes up by 12%, but we just boosted our national slave output, so I'm not overly concerned with that. Population keeps growing nicely, and Philopaneid at the age of 80 has died. That's very sad, but we now have a new title as Trophius, and here we will go with the less corrupt man in Damophon Kilipid for that post. Ah, okay, so our alliance, Boeotia, has broken their alliance with us. Interesting. Vasilis Antigonos offers a friendship. We have received an envoy sent by Vasilis Antigonos, the second Gonatas Antigonid, ruler of our ally Macedon. He offers our ruler Vasilis Philopomenos a personal friendship. I think this could be very useful. I'm just keeping an eye on how things are progressing here. It's looking pretty good right now for Macedon overall. They have a large army here. They split their forces here, but still won. And they've also captured the capital of Argos. Again, I'd be okay if they knock out Argos. All that this, of course, means is that eventually we will need to go to war with Macedon. Ideally, by that time, you know, we've got better relations with Rome. Improve opinion. Alright, we will do that. I thought we had been improving relations, but I guess that got broken off. It's gone again. I don't... Maybe we've hit our maximum with them. I'm not 100% sure. We'll just have to give it a little bit of time, but obviously the big power that can help us against Macedon is Rome or Thrace from the north. If Thrace invades Macedon from the north, that could give us enough cover in the south to claim all the Peloponnese for us. Now, the other one is, of course, Boeotia. All right, we have the 134th Olympiad, so the game shall be held. Improving our relations in the Hellenic world. So they are currently with Oreos, Athens, and Thebes. They are allied with them and in a defensive league. Seems a little redundant, but that's okay. Not really one to take on, also at this time, also because Athens is still, well, actually their fort levels dropped a little bit. So 4,000 troops would be able to take Athens, but to me, they would all be way too powerful right now. We could go to war with Athens And Argos, Canosas, Thrace, and Macedon would join us in this war. Okay, a new wise man has become renowned among our citizens in the city of Messene, province of Laconia. Now they have started to look to him for guidance in their daily lives, following his teachings and ideals. The philosopher is specializing in teaching the minor nobles and rich citizens of the city about the virtues and claims to give them education they need to lead our nation forward in the coming years. We will have him teach us personally. So we lose 10. So we gain culture. We lose 1 in zeal and lose 10 popularity, or let him roam. So territory provincial loyalty goes up. And monthly civilization change goes up. So obviously that is what's going to have to happen. Got a rainstorm here on the coast. There's also that province from Macedon has been occupied. It's just a very interesting one to keep an eye on. Okay, we've got our claim on Megalopolis. I mean, the key one that we can always keep an eye on, this will be finished in 513. And in 513, our Peloponnesian truces will have expired. All right, so Macedon has conquered Argos. Question is, are they still at war? They are still at war. I'd like to know what all they're trying to conquer. This is an interesting one to keep an eye on, because we can't take Macedon on our own without outside help. They're way too powerful. So again, we are simply waiting it out a little bit and seeing our economy build. I mean, now we're at plus 3.2 per month. So we're heading in a great direction. Thearidas has fallen ill. Interesting, he has Mentagra. Seems like something we all have. All right, I think we can look at fabricating. No, we cannot. They have no province which we could conquer in a war. We could fabricate a claim upon. Only coastal provinces in our control range are those adjacent to our territory. All right, so they're not on a coast, and they're not adjacent to us. But those guys are. Zania is. So let's fabricate a claim on Arcadia. So we could, these are all ones we could conquer with time. And then we can take these as needed. I'm very curious to see what Macedon is doing here in the Peloponnese in the meantime. All right, we have a new omen we can call. I think we will do Apollo to increase our national commerce income by 13.8%. We're at a time of peace, and being at a time of peace, it is definitely a time for making more money. And we are sitting quite nicely right now. Financially, keeps on ticking up. We're inching towards 4 a month. And for a still relatively small power, that is a big one. Once Canosas is fully integrated and we have a very strong increased manpower base, obviously our income will continue to grow. We can start looking at possible other places to go after other than just in the Peloponnese, but we of course need to keep an eye on everything that's happening here. It's a little frustrating. It's hard to tell what Macedon has conquered just because Heraya is the same color as Macedon. Alright, so we do have another position to fill. We have a scorned family, but thankfully they are of equal value or equal skill. So Aratos Aegeid will get that position. And so there are no more scorned families. The one thing that was interesting as far as our relations go, overall right now with Rome, we're ticking in the right direction. It's a little odd to me that we can't improve relations with them. It says we'll improve by 1 plus 1.58 over time, so there's only a maximum we can even get to better, is what this is telling me. And yeah, so that's probably why I click on it. it gives us the quick boost, and then we're done. So this really needs to be significantly higher for it to be worth our while. But it's good to know that we're not completely out of the picture when it comes to picking up Rome as an ally. Rival at court. Lately our Vasilevs, Philopoemenos, has come into conflict with Krateos Heliodorid. At every turn and decision, their opinion is persistently clashing. If one of them says south, the other will promptly say north. One wants to trade with a neighbor, the other will argue for war. This constant bickering is ruining whatever authority Phil used to have, and the atmosphere in Sparta is at a breaking point. Enough of this nonsense, you are not the Vasilevs. That's fine. He's now my rival. Disloyal characters. And can we assassinate him? Let's try to kill him. I'm done with that. You shall die. And you're not of a prominent family, so I'm not actually concerned. I'm more concerned with what Macedon is doing here. And the fact that we're just not quite there yet with these truce expiring. Again, that's January 513, so we're a year away from being able to go to war here on the Peloponnese. Megalopolis as well, Tegea, Manitea. Azania, on the other hand, we could go to war with right away. We don't have any alliances, any truces with them. We could take advantage of the situation with Macedon just tearing through the Peloponnese right now. But the other thing is we just bide our time a little bit. Trade influx. Our trade agreement with Lycia has yielded a splendid return on investment. Along with the flow of wealth between our two states, the movement of people is accelerating. Our city of Rhodos has been blessed with a wave of fresh migrants who believe that they stand a better chance of building their lives in Sparta. Who are we to deny them? Strike the earth, so we get a Lycian noble. Moves to Rhodos, and Lycian citizen moves to Rhodos. They will find no fortune here. No, of course, come. Come to us. Come to us, one and all. So now we have our Casaspella against Azania. Azania has about 3,300 troops, so if we raise our levies, we can definitely take them on. I'm not worried about that. So we could go to war with Azania in the meantime, in the hopes that the Macedons don't, peace out with everybody and have a truce. But of course, this would bring in Thrace on our side of a war as well if we were to take on Azania. So I think what we're going to do is we're going to start moving our troops a little bit. We have a mission task that can be completed. Sanctuary of Artemis Orthenia. And this would cost us 200 gold. I don't know. I don't want that one. You can go away. We have 200 gold, but I'm not going to waste it on that. I'm going to waste it on completely different things. So we cannot... Governor's too disloyal. Why are you disloyal? Oh, that's the one that we rivaled. Give him grant regional cognomen. Those sanctions, remove rival. Can I just stop seeing us as a rival? So we could do that. Currently assassinating. Assassinating? Assassinating. That's a word. I'm using it right. Yeah. Not quite sure. It's a little frustrating. We don't quite have the troops we would need there. So the more I'm looking at this now, if we raise our levies, we have 2 heavy infantry cohorts, 3 light infantry heavy cohorts. So that gives us about 4,500, and we would be equal Azania in that regard. I think I'm going to pass on that for right now. I think it's more a matter of waiting and trying to figure out how to make that governor like us more. or just wait until he dies. I think that's a key component. So what we're going to do here now instead, we're going to go back to destroying pirates. It's always a fun one. Same with our fleet over here. We'll tell them to destroy pirates. And in the meantime, we are trying to murder him. So if he gets assassinated, just by, you never know what happens. Then we will be able to put in a new governor that's loyal to us. And we could give free hands. So with that way, he gains 20 in loyalty. But that increases the corruption of 0.2. And I really want to keep corruption down, because of course that really hurts us in our province. If we look at provincial loyalty, it's ticking up, but that's purely down to harsh treatment. If we remove harsh treatment, we're not going to get that loyalty bonus. So you just kind of have to stay patient. In the meantime, do have some money. We can make some improvements. Can look at Messenia. There we have no open building slots. In Sparta, we still have quite a few. So let me see what we could do improvement-wise here. So really looking at a few ones here. Building the mill, which helps our civilization level goes up, slave happiness goes up, slave desired ratio goes up, and our local slave output goes up. Which obviously brings in a good amount of money. We can bring in a tax office, so our local tax goes up by 10%. Civilization level goes up by 2%. If we look at directly the income, it's 0.2. 0.02 actually increase. I'm leaning towards a court of law. This will cost us 138. Our provincial loyalty goes up by 0.01. Local civilization level goes up by 3%, citizen happiness goes up by 6%, desired ratio goes up by 10%, which is actually really, really nice, and that gives us a good bonus. So we're going to build a court of law in Sparta. So now looking just north, and it looks like Macedon has basically rolled through that defensive league completely. Okay, so it'll definitely... Macedon's going to be an issue for us, but I think it's time to take on those other minor powers. But first of all, we have the integration of Canosas. Our client Canosas has long upheld Spartan ideals in a fair and even-handed manner. It is a matter of course, therefore, that their eventual integration into our state is to be a cause of jubilation. The Canosian elite have been instrumental in facilitating this union, and many are hoping to find a place within our government. Okay, so we have Argos. Take a look at him. Got some corrupt. He's not really that good. He's not good at all. Then we have Zenaris. Zenaris is pretty good. I think we can give him refuge. And then we've got Niarchos. Very corrupt. We can't take anybody we don't know. And he already died. Alright, so now, who all wants wine? They want wine, we'll accept that offer. They want wood, we'll accept that offer. So now, looky, doesn't that look fantastic? Now, I do believe we have some forts down here that we need to deal with, maybe? Are there any forts? There's a fort right there. We are just going to take down the forts that we are dealing with. I think we don't have any other forts that we have to worry about. We don't. And again, I'm not going to worry about that right now as far as building up defenses there. I think we're all good here. A plot whispers in the dark. The greatest threat to any nation comes not from without, but from within. Constant infighting between those who would name themselves heir can consume countless resources and lives. Our spies at the court are certain that Chirondas Aegeid, a man who has made no secret of his ambitions for the throne, is plotting to ensure his future, doing away with the competition. We should keep a watchful eye on him, yes. Just keep an eye on him. But now, Sparta has expanded ever further. Let's see, they want olives. We will accept that. Then Carthage wants iron. We will accept that. And right now, if we look at our economy, it's going quite well. Thrace, call to arms, we will accept that. Plot, meeting of the minds. Carondas Aegeid has been spending increasing quantities of time with our beloved heir, Thearidas. These two are natural enemies, so it might be wise to be particularly careful. Troubling. Perhaps we can convince Thearidas to not get involved. Warn Aratos at once. Yes, we will warn our other son. That's a war I don't think we really need to get involved with. It's against a minor power in the region. But what we are very aware of is that Macedon is going to be a major pain for us to deal with. Now, there's not much of a defensive league left here. It's pretty much just the neighbors. Oh, Phil has fallen ill. He has an infection. So Macedon is going to prove to be quite the problem. So where are we sitting here with the Romans? It's gotten worse again. It's fine, whatever. The wretch, Thearidas Aegeid, during his deep discussion with Charondas, must have arranged a deceitful ploy. While Charondas agreed to meet with Aratos on a seemingly unrelated matter, Thearidas had his hired thugs attempt to ransack the home of Aratos. Luckily, since we were able to arrange a warning in advance, no harm was done, and although we were unable to catch the perpetrator in the act, public opinion is that the two rogues were responsible. So they lose a lot of popularity. All right, so now the question is, what direction do we go? Militarily, these guys still will not come in. We can raise our levies here. The assassination has failed. Drat. Gotta figure out how to deal with that governor now in a completely different sense. Province of Crete. Myself am governor there. How's it looking down here? Overall, looking pretty good. Provincial loyalty is looking good. All right, so taking on these guys who have a legion of 1,400, and then obviously they will also have, so they're taking on Getia. They will have their own levies, and we could bring in further levies, or we could go into our legions and add more to our legions. This is the current costs we're dealing with here. Let's see what we could add. So we could add some more archers of the Olympiad. We will, of course, add those. We can add quite a few here and just build a powerful legion, which will cost us a good amount of money on top of what we're already currently paying out. So we look at our army maintenance, it's 154. So as we build more into this, I'd like to build a very strong legion, because then I don't have to worry about the levies. If we can boost these, I feel like we'd still have to have 4,500, because I feel like they'll have, that's what they had here. They had 3,000 levies, plus the 1,500. If we build our army, see if we add archers, we can add engineers. Yeah, chariots. But if we add engineers, oh, let's see here. Call to arms from Macedon against Athens, Thebes, and Boeotia. Okay, we'll accept that offer. That's right at our doorstep. So Macedon is probably going after them. Thrace is in a war. Macedon's in a war. Only Thrace would come into this one, and they still have their allies. Macedon can't because they're currently in a truce. But what we could do instead is build up our legion, send them over here to fight in the war against Thebes and Athens. I think that may not be a bad idea. Of course, it's going to cost us a pretty penny to do that. But we currently have a very strong economy. So I think we'll add archers. I do want to add engineers, so those do definitely help. So that's another fighting component. This would be 3,500, 4,500, about 5,000. It does hurt us financially, income-wise. Or we just raise our levies and head over there with that troop force. I think that's something that we can look at for the next episode. So today's episode, obviously, I would say not a lot happened, but a lot actually happened. We integrated all of Crete now. So Crete is now part of Sparta, and we can look for other directions to go. Now, reforming the Peloponnese is going to now become harder. Now, Macedon helped us by basically blowing up that defensive league, but they are in between us and the northern Peloponnese. Eventually, we will need to come to blows with Macedon if we want all the Peloponnese, but we can only do that with Thrace, who is currently in a war with Getia. So we're in a little bit of a bind right now. I feel like gaining some more experience by fighting the wars here with Athens, which will also obviously benefit Macedon, but it could be a cheap way to gain some territory. Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. And don't forget to hit that like button and like the like button. Until next time, I'm Round Builder Guy, and I will talk to you soon.